Jordan Peele's Nope is the story of a brother and sister in California who, after some strange occurrences, attempt to capture video evidence of a UFO with the help of a tech store clerk and a renowned cinematographer. The third installment in this exciting era of horror cinema, Nope markets itself as a straightforward alien invasion thriller. The film itself, on the other hand, is quite a different experience. Rather than a typical science fiction plot, Nope is the study in something of a cultural abstraction: the sensationalism of trauma. The film does this by specifically focusing on instances of animal abuse. We open on a blood-drenched chimpanzee sitting beside lifeless human bodies on a wrecked 70s sitcom set. We later learn that Steven Yeun's character, Jupe, a local theme park owner, experienced this incident firsthand as a child actor, when Gordy, the titular star chimp, finally had enough of the circus and broke out into a murderous rampage. Our main characters, themselves horse wranglers for use in commercials and film, later discover that the UFO is not a flying saucer in the traditional sense, but a creature all its own, and from there the film kind of becomes a Jaws-type thriller, with them trying to both capture imagery of the beast and kill it. Because of this, I've heard audiences criticise and question what the film is trying to say. It touches on the mistreatment of animals, but the realisation that the UFO, dubbed Jean Jacket, is in fact a living being, doesn't bring any change in action or motivation. The characters still aim to exploit and destroy it. But I feel like this might come from the misconception that A, Peele is actually trying to teach us something, and B, that whatever message Nope supposedly has is a morally sound one, and that our heroes should rise to it. But the film is not intrinsically about animal abuse. Those aspects are important, but not the central thesis. Our characters' actions do in fact reinforce the film's themes, even if those actions and intentions are not ultimately altruistic. Nope most communicates this during arguably its best sequence, where we once again flash back to the Gordy incident, this time in full, with Jupe as the young child actor hiding from him under the table. Earlier in the film, the event is described to us as a horrific tragedy that went on to become something of a global phenomenon, with SNL skits parodying the story and media companies all over the world jumping on the opportunity to turn the whole event into a spectacle for all to see and experience. When we see the event firsthand, however, it's a petrifying horror that feels very unceremonious. The decision to shoot most of the scene as point of view, with few cutaways, actively puts the audience in the child actor's shoes. We begin holding our breaths, praying that Gordy doesn't notice us and beat us to within an inch of our lives. We become the ones who are terrified, yet can't look away. Especially if you experience this scene in the cinema like I did. You're trapped, there's little else to look at anyway, you can't pause it, you can't mute it, it's visceral and feels all-encompassing. While Get Out was more literal and plot-driven, where Us was more metaphorically explained, I feel like Nope is a happy medium of those two storytelling approaches. Yes, there is the text itself with a practical plot and tangible, sensible character motivations that can be read on the surface, but there is also an underlying thematic lens dictating much of its structure, scene arrangement, and narrative perspective. And I feel like any different reading of that internal agreement the film has with itself can often lead to some confusing interpretations. For instance, I've heard many assume that the Gordy scene would be explained later in the film as some external alien force driving the chimp to brutally beat the cast and crew. But I really think its placement in the story is a thematic one. It's to elicit a feeling, a response in the viewer, more so than be tangibly linked to the plot happening in the story otherwise. The ultimate point of it is that it's a tragedy. It wasn't in a chimpanzee's nature to be the star of a sitcom, and all it took was some balloons popping to send him over the edge. Yet it became the source of countless sketches, news items, and memes, to the point that it became some grotesque form of entertainment, where the weight of what had really happened got forgotten and exploited beyond recognition. A good thing to do after this video is to go and read up on the real-life event that inspired the whole Gordy thing in the first place. Nope is not about animal abuse per se, but the contemporary cultural interest in taking real-life horrific pain and suffering and turning it into popcorn, whoring it out, and rinsing it for all it's worth. It's about humans and animals alike, living beings generally, that are equal victims of exploitative entertainment, the kind of media landscape that's defined much of the 21st century, horrible things that we can't help but look at. Real life videos you can find on YouTube right this second trying to dissect why the shoe is standing perfectly upright in the aftermath of Gordy's rampage don't seem all that different from the hours upon hours of 9/11 conspiracy videos one can fill up on. Here we are going on about tiny noticeable details that are likely to be pure coincidences out of otherwise horrifying events, treated like exciting mysteries to be discussed, to be watched over and over and consumed by the masses. Is it any wonder that our main character's name is OJ? The same goes for the third scariest sequence in the film, where we see helpless victims getting sucked up by Jean Jacket, digested in what may as well be the belly of the whale. It's claustrophobic, deeply disturbing, unsettling, and hard to watch. Yet, we do watch. We can't look away from it. Beyond that fourth wall, here we are, eating it all up as the exciting new Jordan Peele horror movie. By the time we're celebrating our heroes having killed the monster, we too have enjoyed a spectacle of the very same nature. How quickly we and the characters forget about the grotesque in-universe trauma that preceded it, the suffering of those innocent victims, and that of the creature itself, a living being being destroyed from the inside out. Because, hey, after all that, at least they got a picture.